As 50 million students across the country are forced to learn remotely from home, an alarming new study suggests that they could lose significant math and reading skills, particularly children from lower-income homes without any kind of home computer or internet access. MSNBC senior national correspondent Chris Jansing is digging into one school system in Cleveland, Ohio, for a closer look at that.
When you hear Damian Goggins playing, you can feel his longing for a bigger life than the world around him, for a degree and a career in music therapy. But now that dream is increasingly uncertain.
It feels like I have to grow up fast.
How does it make you feel?
I don't know. It makes me feel kind of scared because I don't know if I'm ready to grow up yet.
The 16-year-old starts his day not by practicing, but by helping his little sister study. His family has had to move from his grandmother's house because she works in the COVID unit of a local hospital. Across the country, a generation of at-risk and low-income students like Damian are facing the prospect of a lost school year. In Cleveland, school CEO Eric Gordon knows the families have a lot of challenges.
Are they fed? Are they comfortable and safe? Do they have proper care? Do they have access to the internet?
When schools closed in Cleveland, Gordon and his team set up 22 sites for takeout meals for students and their families.
2 packets for you.
Distributed learning packets and have 20,000 laptops for kids in need.
We're going to have to see you online with our classes.
But one problem has proven harder to solve. An EdWeek survey finds that 36% of students in low-income schools are essentially truant, not logging into classes or making any contact.
And the students who are the most vulnerable in the classroom are the same students who is harder to contact now. But even holistically, even the students that are engaging right now in my district, I still feel like they're going to be behind.
We're looking at a recovery that's going to take a minimum of the next couple of years.
And the coronavirus pandemic is taking another unforeseen toll. Cleveland schools are 68% Black, and people of color have been especially vulnerable to COVID-19. So children of color are far more likely to lose a family member or know someone who has, or have a parent with a job suddenly deemed essential and are home unsupervised.
When I moved to senior year, I want to be able to understand what the teachers are talking about and things like that. So that's a little bit kind of like scary.
What the kids want is the things they feel that have been taken from them. I got to figure out a way to give back some sense of fairness where fairness feels stolen.
You seem emotional about that.
Look, I love this job, but they're my kids. And I work every single day for all of my kids to have what they want and deserve.
I keep telling my mom, I've never realized how much I miss school until I don't get to go to school.
And hoping to again make music in a world where his future is back in tune.
Wow, what an incredible report there. Let's bring in my good friend Chris Jansing. She joins us live from outside that school in Cleveland, Ohio. Chris, that was just a very emotional piece there, just hearing what that student's saying, but also to hear from that educator saying that these are his kids. You raised some really good points about what happens to these children, because it's not just this year. It's going to have an impact on many years to come.
And that's the overriding concern, Eamon. I mean, coronavirus is exacerbating every single disadvantage that a kid in a lower socioeconomic community has. They're handing out laptops and hotspots here, even some things like shampoo. The average median income of a family in Cleveland is just over $32,000 a year, but that's even before so many people lost their jobs. You have a lot of others who are working in hospitals. The biggest employers here are the Cleveland Clinic and university hospitals, which raises a whole other set of issues for their families. And so Eric Gordon and 60 other big city administrators have sent a letter to Congress saying, we need help. Look, we understand why you're giving money to airlines and small businesses and to restaurants, but we are going to need help for kids like Damian, who, by the way, doesn't just play guitar, he also plays cello. And it's his future and the future of millions of other kids like him that's at stake, Eamon.
Chris Jansing, thank you so much for putting a spotlight on that very important story.